What's up guys, welcome to this week's trade recap. This week I'm going over a trade that I take, you see it on screen. This one I took yesterday, so it was a fresh trade and it's the exact opposite from last week's trade. So I thought it's a good week to do this one, a little short trade recap on the NQ. Let's go. So let's hop into replay mode and I will again go over everything step by step. First of all, again we are waiting for my opening range time. As you know from last week's video, the opening range is from 15:30, which is right now, to 15:45. So we wait those three candles, 30, 35 and 40. Those three candles define my opening range again. So I'm marking out the range. And after that, what are we gonna do? Same as last week, we check if market structure aligns with something. So we have to check if market is bullish or bearish. And I'll just start counting again from right here. And I always apply my 2 candle rule as always, guys. By now you should know how that stuff works. So we have this leg down, then this leg up. But right here we have 2 candles, but the second candle is inside the first one. As you can see, this second bearish candle is inside the first one. So this doesn't count as a valid leg. So we have to take this back. And we are counting again. We said this is not valid, so it's from here to here, because we have 2 candles here, 2 candles here, but those 2 candles don't count because this one is inside the first one. So it's one big leg to the downside. And this is just to get some objectivity into market structure. Then we are going up, down, and up. This is also one big leg to the upside. Oh, sorry, I oversaw that. There's a little bump in between, but yeah, it doesn't matter too much now. And then market shifted bearish right here when we broke this one. And then I'll check again from the top down. This is technically a leg. And then we see if market stayed bearish. We didn't close 2 candles above, so we only closed 1 candle above, so this is not a valid shift. So market stayed bearish and we continued to the downside right here. So this was just a little liquidity grab, a little bait for people that started longing. And what does that tell me now? Looking from this is one leg down. So market is right now, as we created this opening range, market is bearish. So that means if we close below the opening range, I will take continuation shorts. And the second scenario would be if we break the range high, which is also the last leg from here, we are going down. If we would close above with 2 candles, I would take a reversal long into the other side. So both scenarios are valid today. And then what I'm do, once the plan is all clear, I put out the fib range with my deviations, 1.2 deviation, 1.5, and then I'm patient and waiting for something to happen. As you can see, we closed below here, and that means I am taking this short because we closed below the range low with a valid close, and market is also bearish, so that means continuation shorts. I market entered right here because I was not on the charts actively when that happened, but I would have just set a limit at the range low, stops at the range high, and the 1.5 deviation as my take profit area. And as you can see, we got filled right away, and that's also when I sent out the trade to all my elite members in Tribe Capital. And I always send out my trades live and in advance. Everything is shared, transparent, losses and wins. If you want to join, links are down below in my link tree. We also offer a 14-day trial for $1 and you can try it out for yourself and see if you like it. But let's continue. Once I was in the trade, I set my alarms at the 1.2 deviation because that's my break-even point, same as last week, and 1.5 is my take profit point. And after that, I am just closing the chart. I'm not watching my trade because I don't micromanage. I don't care what's happening in between here. I only care about my extreme zones and my stop loss, obviously, because I want to know if my stop gets hit, which is also a possibility. So now we are just waiting for something to happen, and we got a pretty aggressive dump after a little retracement up, which is perfectly fine. And once we hit this 1.2 point, I sent out the trade, or I sent out the update to the Tribe Capital Elite members that I am going break even, and my trade was set break even right here. After that, just waiting a little longer, trade is break even, so we are pretty safe. And then we had a little correction to the upside, but ultimately we reached my take profit target in the same day. I entered at 4 and I was out at 7, so a 3-hour trade and a 1.5-hour move caught, which is what I do. 1.5 hour is my take profit area on this NQ system. It's always the same every day, and that is why I am consistent with my trading, because I don't do what's special, I don't do flashy things, I just follow my system consistently day by day. And that was basically the short trade from yesterday. Just to recap it, range 15:30, 15:45, then check market structure. Is market bearish, is market bullish, and then you go by that. I saw that market is bearish, so we closed below the range low, and I just took the continuation short to the 1.5 deviation. And that's all there is to it, guys. Nothing special, nothing fancy, just consistency every day. So guys, I hope you learned something. If you learned something, like, subscribe. If you have a question, leave a comment below. And all the links are in my description if you want to try Bright Funded for a prop firm to trade, if you want to join Tribe Capital. And yeah, that's everything below in the comments. That's everything below in the description. And thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in next week's trade. Peace out.